Okay, quick thing before we start the show. Big changes are happening all around us. Are you ready? In my new book, Super Shifts, we uncovered the massive transformations reshaping how we live, work, and think in the age of intelligence. From AI to the future of work, this book is your guide to navigating what's next. Get your copy of Super Shifts today, available wherever books are sold, because the future isn't coming. It's already here. Okay, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Think Forward podcast, where we speak with futurists, innovators, and big thinkers. Come along with your host, Steve Fisher, and explore the future together.
Welcome back to Foundations in Foresight, a Think Forward series. I'm Steve Fisher, and in this episode, we're going to talk about a skill that will completely change how you see the world: futures literacy. Now, you've probably heard of financial literacy, the ability to understand and manage money, and you might be familiar with media literacy, the ability to critically evaluate information. But futures literacy? That's a term most people don't hear every day. Yet, it's one of the most important skills you can develop. It helps you make sense of uncertainty, navigate change, and think beyond the limits of what feels possible. And the best part? It's a skill you can learn and practice, just like any other form of literacy. So in today's episode, we'll break down what futures literacy actually is, why it matters, and how you can start developing it in your own life. Now, what exactly is futures literacy? It's the ability to imagine, explore, and understand different futures. It's a cognitive skill, a mindset, and a practice all rolled into one. And the more you develop it, the better you become at spotting change, adapting to uncertainty, and making smarter, long-term decisions. A great way to think about it is this. Futures literacy is like learning a new language, the language of change. When you don't speak a language, everything sounds unfamiliar. But the more you practice, the easier it gets to recognize patterns, form sentences, and have real conversations. The same applies to futures thinking. When you first start, the future might feel unpredictable, chaotic, even intimidating. But as you build your futures literacy, you start recognizing patterns of change, seeing early signals, and becoming more comfortable thinking in multiple possibilities instead of just one expected outcome. Now, why is this so important? Because the future isn't written yet. Unlike history, which we can analyze and learn from, the future is something we actively shape. And the people who can think in futures, rather than just reacting to the present, have a huge advantage. Organizations like UNESCO have actually recognized futures literacy as a critical skill for the 21st century. In a world of rapid technological shifts, climate change, and global disruptions, being futures literate means you're better prepared for what's ahead, whatever that might be. So how can you start building futures literacy? The first step is simple. Question your assumptions. We all carry hidden beliefs about the future. Things we assume will stay the same, industries we think will always exist, or trends we expect to continue. But what if those assumptions are wrong? For example, just a few decades ago, most people assumed we'd always have landline phones in our homes. Today, they're practically extinct. Assumptions about careers, education, and even how we socialize have completely shifted. So one of the easiest ways to start building futures literacy is to regularly ask yourself, what do I assume about the future? And what if I'm wrong? Another way to develop futures literacy is to actively explore alternative futures. Instead of thinking, what's most likely to happen? Try asking, what are other possibilities? Or, what if things evolve in a completely unexpected way? Or even, what might a positive, negative, or surprising version of the future look like? When you start exploring multiple futures instead of just one, you start seeing opportunities, risks, and new possibilities that others might overlook. So here's something to try. Over the next 24 hours, notice one assumption you or someone else makes about the future. It could be about work, technology, society, anything. Then ask yourself, what if this assumption doesn't hold up? What other futures might emerge instead? This simple habit of questioning what we take for granted is one of the fastest ways to start becoming futures literate. That's it for today's episode of Think Forward Foundations. Now that you understand futures literacy, it's time to explore one of the biggest roadblocks to thinking about the future: our assumptions. In the next episode, we'll dig deeper into how assumptions shape our thinking and how you can train yourself to challenge them, making you a sharper, more strategic futures thinker. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and make sure to check out the next Foundations episode and other episodes on the show list. And don't forget, You have the power to shape the future. And as always think forward.
Thanks for listening to the Think Forward podcast. You can find us on all the major podcast platforms and at www.thinkforwardshow.com, as well as on YouTube under Think Forward Show. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to the show. Now, about that thing I mentioned earlier about the book Super Shifts. Imagine having a playbook to navigate what's coming next. That's exactly why I wrote Super Shifts, to help you understand and prepare for the seismic changes shaping our world. Don't just react. Get ahead. Super Shifts is available now, wherever you get your books. And if you order today, you'll get exclusive bonus content. Head to supershiftsbook.com and grab your copy now and start future-proofing your life. The future won't wait. Why should you?